talk show. Today we have a special topic to discuss. Stay tuned. Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Today we explore the unspoken rules that shape success in professional environment. I'm your host Izzati Damia. In today's episode, we will be focusing on a topic that may seem simple but play a powerful role in shaping how we are perceived in the workplace, appearance, and first impression in professional setting. Today's episode is divided into main segments, each focusing on key aspects of workplace professionalism. For our first segment, we'll be exploring appearance and first impressions, how personal presentation shape the way others perceive us in professional environments. In this segment, we are joined by two panelists. First, we have Ms. Sabrina Saaban, who will be taking on the role of appearance and first impressions contributor, focusing on how personal grooming and presentation influence professional image. Welcome, Ms. Sabrina.
Thank you, Ms. Damia.
And alongside her is Farahim Damon,
Thank you, Ms. Damia.
our professional attire and workplace image contributor, who will be discussing appropriate dressing standards in different workplace events. With that, let us begin our first segment. Miss Sabrina, let's start with you first. Why is appearance so important in workplace events?
Thank you, Ms. Damia. Appearance is important because it forms the very first impression before any words are spoken. In professional environment, people tend to observe how someone presents themselves within the first few seconds of meeting them. This initial perception often influences how seriously they are taken even before their skills or qualifications are known. So, in a way, appearance becomes a form of non-verbal communication. It sends a message about discipline, preparation, and respect.
So, even before someone introduces themselves, a message has already been sent.
Yes, exactly. And that message can either create a positive impression or a negative one, depending on how one presents themselves.
Farahim, building on that, what would you say is considered appropriate attire for workplace events?
Appropriate attire actually depends on the type of workplace event, but the core idea remains the same: professionalism. For formal corporate events, individuals are expected to wear business attire such as suit, blazer, formal dresses, or smart formal wear. This outfit reflects seriousness and respect toward the occasion. For semi-formal or casual corporate event, the attire can be slightly relaxed, but it still needs to be neat, clean, and well coordinated. What is important is not overdress or underdress, but to match the expectation of the environment. This shows that you are aware of the setting and understand professional standards.
So, it's not about dressing to impress everyone, but dressing appropriately for the situation.
Exactly. When someone dresses appropriately, it shows maturity and awareness. It also prevents misunderstanding about professionalism.
Miss Sabrina, apart from clothing, what other elements contribute to first impressions in professional setting?
There are actually several elements beyond clothing. Grooming is one of the most important things. This includes personal hygiene, neat hair, and overall cleanliness. Even if someone is dressed appropriately, poor grooming can still affect how others perceive them. For example, wearing clothes, unpolished shoes, or untidy appearance may create a negative impression. In addition to that, body language plays a role. How a person stands, walks, and carries themselves can influence how confident they appear.
So, is this a combination of of appearance, grooming, and body language?
Yes, all of these elements work together to form a complete impression of a person.
Miss Farah, let's go a bit deeper. Why do you think people sometimes underestimate the importance of appearance?
I think many people assume that skill and qualifications are the only things that matter. While those are definitely important in real-world professional settings, perception also play a big role. Sometimes people focus too much on being comfortable and forget that workplace events are still professional environments. They may not realize that small details in appearance can influence how others judge their seriousness and readiness.
So, comfort sometimes overrides awareness.
Yes, because it can lead our first impression.
Miss Sabrina, what advice would you give to students or young professionals preparing for workplace events?
My advice will be always prepare in advance. Do not wait until the last minute to decide what to wear or how to present yourself. Understand the nature of the event, plan your outfit accordingly, and make sure everything is neat and appropriate. Most importantly, always remember that you are representing yourself and sometimes even your organization. So preparation is the key.
That's very practical advice. Miss Farahini, any final thoughts on appearance before we move on?
Yes, I would like to add that confidence is also part of appearance. Even if someone is dressed well, without confidence, the overall impression may not be as strong. So, it is important to not only focus on external appearance, but also how you carry yourself, but both work together to create a strong professional image.
Of combination of presentations, grooming, and confidence.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Miss Sabrina and Miss Farahini, for your insightful sharing today. This concludes our first segment on appearance and first impressions. We have learned that first impressions are not accidental. They are built through preparation, awareness, and presentation. We will now proceed to our second segment after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Professional Age Talk Show Segment 2. Earlier, we discussed how appearance and first impression shape professional perception. Now, we move into our second segment, workplace etiquette and behavior, because in professional spaces, how you act often speak louder than how you look. For this segment, we will focus on workplace etiquette and behavior, including communication style, professionalism, and common mistakes that can affect how others perceive us in workplace environments. Joining us in this segment are two panelists. First, we have Ms. Amira Yusnizan.
Thank you, Ms. Dania.
Our communication and behavior etiquette contributor, who will be sharing insight on how communication style influence professionalism in workplace setting. And alongside her is Munira Zulkifli.
Thank you, Ms. Dania.
Our workplace conduct and professional behavior contributor, who will highlight common behavior mistakes and how to maintain proper etiquette in professional environments. With that, let us begin our discussion. Ms. Amira, to begin, what will you say defines a good workplace etiquette?
Thank you, Ms. Dania. Good workplace etiquette is essentially about respect, awareness, and professionalism. It includes basic but important behaviors such as greeting others politely, listening attentively when someone is speaking, maintaining eye contact, and using appropriate language. These actions may seem small, but they contribute greatly to creating a positive and respectful environment in any professional setting.
So, it's really about the basic done consistently?
Yes, exactly. Professionalism is built on consistency in behavior, not just big actions during important moments.
Miss Munira, building on that, how important is communication style in workplace environments?
This is very important, Ms. Damia. Communication is not only about what we say, but also how we say. Tone of voice, facial expression, and body language all influence how a message is received. Even a simple sentence we can feel polite or rude depend on how it's developed. This is why professionalism requires awareness in communication at all times.
So, meaning can change depending on delivery?
Yes, and that is why self-control and awareness is very important in professional communication.
What are some common mistakes people make during workplace events or professional interactions?
One common mistake is the overuse of mobile phones during events or conversations. It may seem harmless, but it gives the impression that the person is not engaged or interested. Another mistake is speaking over others or interrupting conversations, which can be seen as disrespectful in professional environments.
So, even small habits can affect how people see you professionalism?
Yes, exactly. People may not always say it directly, but they notice these behaviors.
Miss Munira, what about social behavior? Are there boundaries we should be aware of?
Yes, definitely. In workplace setting, it is important to maintain boundaries in communication. For example, oversharing personal problems may make others uncomfortable. Professional environment requires a balance between friendliness and respect. We should always be mindful of content, audience, and timing.
So, it's about knowing what is appropriate and what is not.
Exactly, awareness is the key.
Miss Bira, many students feel nervous about networking at professional events. What advice would you give?
That is very common, but networking does not have to be complicated. It is simply about having polite and genuine conversations. Start with simple introductions, ask questions, and show interest in others. You do not need to impress everyone. Just be yourself in a professional way.
So, authenticity over perfection.
Yes, exactly.
Miss Munira, if you could summarize professional behavior in one item, what would it be?
I would say it is self-awareness, being aware of how we speak, how we act, and how others perceive us. Professionalism is not about being perfect, but about how mindful and respectful in other situations.
That's a strong point. Before we end this segment, I would like each of you to share one final takeaway.
Always communicate respectful and be mindful of your behavior.
Be aware of your action because small behavior reflect professionalism.
Thank you both of your insight and sharing today. Today we explore what truly shapes professionalism in the workplace, from appearance and first impression to communication, behavior, and etiquette. And if there is one thing we take away from this discussion, is this: professionalism is not defined by one moment, but by consistent awareness in a very small action we take. Because in the professional world, people may forget what you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel and how you carry yourself. To our panelists, Sabrina, Farahim, Amira, and Munira, thank you for your valuable insight today. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us, the Professional Age Talk Show. Until next time, stay professional, stay aware, and let every person count. Thank you for watching our talk show. See you in the next episode. Bye!